Okay, so we can start you guys off.
We're going to build a resaw.
Yeah.
Resaw or hula saw?
A hula saw, yeah.
Oh, remember that one?
The hula saw was the next one.
Yeah.
The resaw came first.
The resaw. Now that was quite a thing.
That was quite a project.
Yeah, because the 2x4s are 4 inches apart, or 6 inches apart, if I remember that right.
Yeah, they come through there pretty quick.
No. What do you mean?
About a foot center, and then you had the 2x4 there. The lugs were what, a foot? The lugs, each one?
Or you're thinking the finger joint plan.
Oh, you got...
No, this was a...
you got the scrag. You're talking about the scrag.
No, it was a precision end trimmer that went to
Oh,
work.
that one I remember.
Yes,
That
that was quite a thing to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
Because it walked over the boards and had to catch out of the board when it came.
Yeah.
And then had to fall down to hold it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
We built that in the water spill, remember?
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember building that, yeah.
Okay. And that, it was a fast chain, and the operator would just pull it back, and it would slide through, and then it would slide over with the side rolls, right, Walter? On that. And that shoe, when it was sitting on this one, had to fall down to catch this one.
Yeah.
And then this one fell down and lifted that one because there wasn't distance between. I can remember that. Yeah.
Oh, it was really something. Yeah. But the funny thing was, first when the resaw was built first, you had to cut a hole in the wall there to get it out because the door was too small.
Yep.
And then when we built the hula saw, it was high, so you had to cut on top a chunk out that you got it out.
Yeah. Well, there were all these special projects.
Yeah.
And that was the neat thing because there was nothing like that out there.
Yeah.
And through your coming to work in that plant, it was Ted Vanderveen was an engineer there.
Yeah, he came later.
He came later. Walter engineered all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ted had nothing to do with the resaw, and Roy and I actually we were looking for a resaw, a special thing, where you can from the green chain when the lumber comes, you pick up one which has a snipe end. Okay. So what does it make? A 2x3? Then you and that has to go through, and that has to fit over the green chain.
Yeah.
So that one operator could handle it.
Do it all.
And then what happened was there was nothing like that on the market.
Yeah.
So at a meeting in the front office, there was another guy there, yet he went to Chetman later on. But anyway, he said, well, if you guys know what you want, why don't you build it yourself? And Roy looked at me and he said, oh, not a bad idea. So
that was ridiculous. That's really nice.
Yeah, Roy Baker, and he did the basic concept, and I took it from there and did all the details. And that was before we had computer, or I didn't even have a calculator. I had everything by hand, all drive calculations. There were lots of it,
He said,
and then
Roy told him to go see Ray Menard, and he didn't want to. He said, there's a couple of young guys just started in the shop. He says, I'm going to go see them. And Roy told him to go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Good start.
Well, it was, I don't know how I got to know you two, but Roy suggested I go to steel industries with, there was that Frenchman there.
Oh, yes.
He was your boss once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ray Menard, yeah.
Ray, but then
Ray
there was
Menard.
Kurt also.
Yeah, Ray Menard. And then, and I said no, because I had some run-in with Ray Menard. See, I was new to the industry, and he was an old fox.
And you were German.
Well, I don't know that had anything to do with it.
He was good.
But anyway, I came in, and I said to Roy, well, I know a small shop, and they would be eager to do it the way we want it. Said, go ahead, he said. So I got a work order for you, and we started up. And then first I built a mock-up out of wood. I had a model made out of wood, and a broom handle as a mantle, and And anyway, then I checked with Roy. You think we can go? Yeah, go ahead. So I made drawings, but I had to do it fast. So I just made it on 8.5 by 11 paper, and I did all at home. And in the morning I got to the office quick, made a copy of it and went to the shop. And then following up all the time, every morning after I checked with the millwrights, I went to that shop there, and here that machine gradually was built. And you put some ideas to it, and it worked very great. And the machine, when it was finally finished, it was great enough that that we had 2 more orders later. Yeah, one for Heinz Creek and one for Fort St. James.
Right? Yes, I remember going to Fort St. James and putting saws in there, swing saws, on weekends.
But
we'd leave here.
I would say Finley machines. But
that was them nice.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Why do you guys think the innovation? Like, why do you guys think the 4 of you can be sitting in this room together and come from a similar location in Grand Prairie, Peace Country, but being such innovators? You know, like how it's pretty unique, I think. And why do you think that is?
Well, number one is where we were. Like, we'd never even been to Edmonton. We hadn't been anywhere but here. And we lived out in the wilderness of the bush or whatever, and it was a free, you had to think. You had to think, you know, and ideas that was coming through like that, and we wanted to survive, because we had to have work too on it, because
part of it was guys like Walter with Can4 gave us an opportunity. Gave us a chance.
But it was basically a culture in this area where you had
to
make what you needed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that sort of
if you need some, you make it.
Yeah. You bet.
You guys think if you were maybe a generation younger than when you were growing up and kind of in your prime of innovation, and still are, but when you guys were the busiest, do you think that industry maybe would have changed to, say, oil field? You would have been more oil field heavy, because a lot of you guys were big in the forestry, am I right? Do you think that industry would have changed, or do you guys think that forestry had a big part in being why you guys are so innovative?
Well, forestry was the predominant one because it's renewable.
That and agriculture, I would say.
That and agriculture back then.
A lot of innovation.
Right. I remember back then, my father worked in sawmills and that stuff, and then I remember the oil patch coming in and drilling a well out at Elmsworth. And I can remember Dad, because you did multiple tasks, okay? You had to work on all sectors of the industry to make a living, to feed us kids. And I remember Dad going to, on the drilling rig with my brother, and they drilled a well out at Harding's, out at Elmsworth. And I remember Dad coming back home disappointed that it was no good, the well was no good, okay? Because they were looking for oil, and they had high pressure gas. So they cemented it off until here we are now. That's the gas field, okay? Because the technology hadn't caught up with it. And today, that's where it's at. But that was just what happened back then. Well, the forest industry is big.
So part of it was the forest industry was ready at that time for you guys to make innovations.
Yeah, I think it was probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
There was need in the forest industry, and we happened to be there, and they called us.
Yeah.
I think all of us growing up, we had all kinds of little projects. Like, I know you had that little mini, you put big engine in it, stuff like that. And
it was a new car.
We work on vehicles and make our own toys, so to speak.
It was, and we raced. You know, they closed the highway here up by Midwest Electric.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the police would shut the highway off so we could race on there.
I watched that.
Oh, it was
South
good times.
Bypass there,
Oh man.
At Austin, you had, I think it was.
Yeah. I'd beat a vet with it, anything. It was awesome, eh? That's how I got my woman.
So the innovation didn't stop in the industry. It came into pleasure life and everything. It's everywhere.
Oh,
I guess
You built a trike. I think I saw some pictures
Right.
of you with a trike, and you were building a mini. And
we're not afraid to tackle problems, I would put it that way, because a lot of people say you can't do that. And as soon as somebody says that to any one of these here, they don't agree, we'll make it work, you know.
I gave you one example. We had a breakdown in the sawmill. I forgot what it actually was. And it was middle in the night. I called Reg. And I said, we have to do that immediately, you know. Okay, I can do it. And he didn't know what the problem was till he got there.
I got into a lot of that stuff.
But you start out, you start out with the assumption, I can do it, and then you look at the details, how to get there. And that's that's the innovator. Well, like Lester, he figured if a saw goes down the log, comes back empty, that's not right, turn it over and come back and cut it. And I had that idea. Now, 10 years, no more than that, later he got a nice machine going. Together with Dave here.
And the uniqueness of that, I got these guys with their sawmill from the trees that are 100 years old out where I grew up. They sawed me the planks for the stairs in my house that I got today. And I left the bottom and the back rough. And I planed the top and the front planed it. But you can see the cut where the two saws come together because I wanted to leave it like that on it. So these are all special. Everybody's special here. Like we've had such a journey.
It's a journey.
And competition is good. Dave's good competition. Lester's good competition. Toughest you can get, and that's what makes us strong. You know, bring it on, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, and people like yourself, Walter, that came over here and put this all together. You're our mentor. Mm-hmm. Okay? We had Ray Menard also, a mentor. Daniel Chuck, okay, was my mentor too. So we've had such good teachers to help us to get through this, that we're willing to take the corporate position and support these ideas that we could put together. So it wasn't just us. We had to have that whole support. You know, Dave.
We did. Yeah.